Daily Words of God. Faced with man's state and his attitude toward God, God has done new work, allowing man to possess both knowledge of and obedience toward him, and both love and testimony. Thus, man must experience God's refinement of him, as well as his judgment, dealing and pruning of him, without which man would never know God and would never be capable of truly loving and bearing witness to him. God's refinement of man is not merely for the sake of a one-sided effect, but for the sake of a multifaceted effect. Only in this way does God do the work of refinement in those who are willing to seek the truth, in order that man's resolve and love are made perfect by God. To those who are willing to seek the truth and who yearn for God, nothing is more meaningful or of greater assistance than refinement such as this. God's disposition is not so easily known or understood by man, for God, in the end, is God. At the end of the day, it is impossible for God to have the same disposition as man, and thus it is not easy for man to know his disposition. The truth is not inherently possessed by man, and is not easily understood by those who have been corrupted by Satan. Man is devoid of the truth, and devoid of the resolve to put the truth into practice. And if he does not suffer, and is not refined or judged, then his resolve will never be made perfect. For all people, refinement is excruciating and very difficult to accept. Yet it is during refinement that God makes plain his righteous disposition to man, and makes public his requirements for man, and provides more enlightenment and more actual pruning and dealing. Through the comparison between the facts and the truth, he gives man a greater knowledge of himself and the truth, and gives man a greater understanding of God's will, thus allowing man to have a truer and purer love of God. Such are God's aims in carrying out refinement. All the work that God does in man has its own aims and significance. God does not do meaningless work, nor does he do work that is without benefit to man. Refinement does not mean removing people from before God, nor does it mean destroying them in hell. It means changing man's disposition during refinement, changing his motivations, his old views, changing his love for God, and changing his whole life. Refinement is a real test of man and a form of real training, and only during refinement can his love serve its inherent function.